Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be doing a summer glam tutorial. This is a full face tutorial, step by step. Also, there will be some product recommendations, ones that I'm currently loving, ones that I would go for long wearing makeup on my combination oily skin, and also just for some inspiration for those more glam summer looks for a wedding, any kind of special occasion, or even if you just like to get glam. Okay, so I zoomed you guys in a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and pop this headband on. I've been using it. I need to get like a nicer one. This is just like literally my one that I've had forever. But I like that it keeps the makeup out of my hair. So I am actually still going to do the face first, even though the eye look is going to be a little bit more glam, just because that's my personal preference. If you prefer to do eyes first, then you can just skip ahead to eyes and then come back for the face tutorial. So the first product I'm going to go ahead and apply is the Danessa Myricks Blurring Balm. This is not only nice as a primer because it's blurring to the skin, it adds a tiny bit of coverage and evens out skin tone, but it also is incredible for mattifying the skin. Like it controls my shine for a long amount of time. So it's kind of like a messier product to apply, especially me, because I'm going everywhere with it. But I personally like to just kind of get it spread all across. It's gonna look horrendous. And then I start to really work it into the skin with my fingers. You can also go in with a sponge. I find my fingers is my favorite way to go about this. And as you can see, as you start to press it into the skin, it just like melts right in. You know what? I am gonna go in with a sponge because I did apply a lot, so I wanna make sure I don't have any like excess product anywhere. The sponge will absorb a little bit of that product. And it's also a little bit quicker. The one area that I find on my face that tends to crease, bunch up, start to break down, well, is really my T-zone, but especially right in here on my lip and on my chin. And I find with this product, it definitely holds up really, really well with it, but you do want to make sure you're not over applying with really any primer, but especially with one that's like a little bit thicker like this. So I like to kind of really go over that area a couple times to pick up any excess product. Really focus on working it in those areas so that we're not ending up breaking down throughout the day, especially in the summer heat. Let's go in with some foundation. One of my absolute favorites, and especially for when I'm worrying about controlling shine, is the NARS Soft Matte. It also has really, really good coverage. And so if you're going for a more glam look, this one is probably my go-to because it's going to conceal and give them more of that matte full coverage look. Keep in mind that because I am combination oily skin type, I do focus more on mattifying the skin, despite how much that glowy summer bronzy like dewy look, despite how beautiful that is. It's not realistic if I'm going for all day wear, which is part of today's tutorial, long wearing. So if you are more of a dry skin type and you like more glowy, then just replace these products with, you know, your typical glowy base that works for you. I'm going to go in with a little bit of my NARS Creamy Concealer on these couple blemishes I have here. I'm just going to stamp it on and then slowly buff around the edges, not actually blending any of the product that's sitting on top of the blemish so that it's going to stay as pigmented as possible. Kind of just work all the edges out. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with some cream bronzer / contour. And my absolute favorite right now is the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Sunkissed Glow Bronzer. I'm going in with my Huda Beauty Face Cheek Color brush. You can go in with whatever brush you have or you prefer. And I'm going to contour the face. Okay, so I know my nose isn't completely blended out, but I like to use the contour to blend that a little bit, or the concealer. So I'm gonna go in with my Tarte Shape Tape. This is just one that I always grab for long wear. It's also the most full coverage that I own. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply that in the areas I wanna conceal and highlight. Okay, we're gonna go in with some cream blush, and one of the products I've been loving is the One Size Cheek Clapper Blush Trio. I'm gonna go in with the cream at the top right here. This is in the trio called Very That, and I am gonna go in with the same brush I used for contour. It's like a nice soft matte finish, but still really beautiful. And really pigmented, so it's like super quick and easy. You don't need a lot. A little goes a long way. And if you don't like the shade of anything that I'm using, or if it doesn't match your skin tone, remember that everything that I'm putting up most likely will have other shade options. I'm now gonna go ahead with powder, and today I am gonna use my One Size. This is like my favorite right now. I love the Maybelline still, but I've just started using this all the time, and I like can't stop using it. So this is the loose ultimate setting powder. So I just put some in the lid. I'm gonna make sure I have no lines under my eyes or around my nose. And I'm gonna take it and bake on the nose. Press it under the eyes. And then I also like to press in with the sponge and the areas that I find look textured or will break down easily, so like my T-zone. And then I am also going to bake. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do my brows off camera while this sits and bakes, and then I will be back. So I've done my brows, but I wanted to share this part with you. I'm going in with the Too Faced Fluff and Hold. I am obsessed with this stuff, guys. It is so good. You just back comb it through. And you wanna be careful you're not like smudging the foundation above it. But if you're careful, then you can fluff these hairs up like majorly. It works so good. And then just clean that edge up. But what I love about it is it, number one, holds the brows literally all day. But as you can see, it really like fluffs up the front of the brow, and I really like that look. Now that the brows are done, let's go ahead with eyes. I'm gonna prime with my Hourglass Veil Eyeshadow Primer. So now I'm gonna go in with my new Anastasia Beverly Hills Nouveau palette. This one I have reviewed, I'll link it down below. I really enjoyed the look that I created, but I do feel like because I was like trying to use as many colors as possible, I felt like I could create a look I would enjoy better. So I'm gonna just go ahead and create a look with this palette today, kind of, you know, now that we've reviewed it, let's actually create a really nice kind of more bronzy summer look. So first I'm going in with the shade Paloma, and I am going to use that to not only set down the eyeshadow, but kind of even out the eyelid a little bit more. Let's go in with the shade Metro, and I am going to apply this and start by patting it all along the crease. So first what I'm gonna do is take the same brush and start to buff those edges to soften them. Little tiny circular motions. Now I'm going to take the shade Fleur and use that to diffuse this outwards. I'm gonna just start using circular motions on the outside, not bringing it too far up because otherwise we're gonna end up with it up to our eyebrows. So you want to just start by kind of going along that edge and just applying it circular motions. It'll just continue to further soften the edge. And when you get in the inner corner, you really want to make sure you're not going outside the line, because you again don't want to like have it all the way to in here. So I'm just going over that line, and it's going to continue to soften it, but again, not moving it too much further. So you can see already a big difference. So now what I'm going to do is mix these two shades right here to create kind of a lighter shade. And I'm just going to go like this, using the side of the brush. You're barely touching the skin. It's just letting the bristles almost like scratch the skin. So just as you can see, it's really softened everything out. Okay, so now that's softened, I am going to take a little more of this Paloma and apply that along the brow, underneath the brow. And it'll do one last step to soften that edge and tone down the color up towards the brow bone. So again, it's not looking like it's coming up too high. I'm going to start turning this look into a bit of a halo eye. So first I'm going to take the shade Metro, again, same brush, and start to press it on the outer lid, not going high at all. Like, I don't want to interfere with the blending we just did. So I've applied that there and pulling it into the inner part of the lid a little bit as well. So we're just leaving a strip in the center, and you can kind of blend that into the crease a little bit. You don't want to add too much, or else you're going to end up needing to then go and blend out again. Okay, now I'm going to take the shade Muse. This one I haven't used yet, but it looks really nice and rich. And it has a bit of a sheen to it, but it's like not too crazy. This one I am going to make sure I'm really tapping off my excess, because sometimes metallics can like cause more fallout. And I am going to darken that up. I'm actually going to grab a more like flat brush like this. This is the JH53. Now I'm going to take this brush with some of the Metro. I'm just going to use that to soften that and kind of blend it into the crease I've already created. Let's go in with the shade Belle right here. I'm going to use my finger, apply it in the center. Just patting the edges to blend it into that darker metallic. Careful with that shade, because you do get quite a bit of fallout. I'm now going to take the shade Isle, and I'm going to highlight the inner corner. And I'm going to wet this one as well, because I want it nice and bright. And a little bit of that on the brow bone as well. For lower lash line, I'm going to take Muse, the dark metallic, and apply it on the outer and the inner. And I'm going to blend that out with the shade Metro. Taking a bit of that Fleur, I'm going to make sure everything's softened and connected. And I'm going to take some of that shade Belle, wet it, and apply that to the center of the lower lash line as well. Okay, so that is the finished eye look. I'm going to go ahead with some mascara. So now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to apply some bronzer. I'm going to go ahead with my Hourglass Ambient Luminous Bronze Light Bronzer. So this is a nice way when you're oily skin type and when you want to keep things matte for the sake of the longevity of your makeup, but you also like a bit of shimmer, shine, glow. And I'm going to pick up some of this and apply it over top. We're gonna not only bronze the skin up a little bit more, because remember, this is a glam look, so like we're going heavy with everything. So this is a nice way to add some more color and also a little bit of sheen. It's not intense, it's not even super noticeable, but it's just makes the skin look a little bit more like, ooh, you know? Okay, so we're now gonna go in with some highlight. And today I'm gonna be using my OG Ofra Everglow highlighter. This is like the Nikki Tutorials one. It is actually still available. And I like these two shades because this one's a little too dark, but these two mixed together is like such a stunning highlight, especially it gives a little, with the golden, it gives a little bit of that warmth. And it is an intense highlight. So this is again how we're gonna get that glow. It has a bit of that like bronziness to it, but it mixed with the lighter one for my fair skin. It's not too dark. If you're darker skin toned, you could just swirl them all. You can do whatever you want. And we want to be shining like a diamond. Just to make sure there's no powder finish, I like to sometimes go over with my sponge. Now let's go ahead with lips and then we are done. Again, this is about longevity. One of my longer wearing lip liners is actually my Huda Beauty Lip Contour 2.0. It's one of my favorites. It does last a really long time for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and line the lips. This is in the shade Pinky Brown. And then I'm also gonna actually go in with the Huda Beauty Liquid Matte. I just really like the shade for summer. It has a bit of like that warmth, and I think it kind of matches one of the crease shades from the eye look. And it's a really nice matte liquid lipstick that lasts all day long. So I really like it. If you want to go in for a more dewy look, obviously like for the lips, a glossy look, you can add a gloss on top. It's going to definitely not last quite as long. But what I sometimes like to do is just take a little bit of gloss. I'm taking my Patrick Ta Major Volume, and I'm just gonna apply it with my finger and dab it on in the center. So you still get that glossy look, but it's not like everywhere where it's gonna break down the whole entire lip. Just a tiny bit to give you a bit of a gloss, and in the center of the lip, it really like volumizes things. I'm gonna go ahead and set the face with my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray, one of my favorites because it not only locks the makeup in for all day wear and controls shine, but it also juices up the skin. It melts the makeup together and doesn't make the skin look too matte. Okay, so this is the finished look. I feel like this look just screams summer to me. It's like bronzy and kind of sultry. It's really glam. I hope you guys found this video helpful. Got some product recommendations, some inspiration, and maybe even recreated this look. And if you did follow along and you end up posting anything on social media, tag me because I'd love to see your recreations of this look. If you guys enjoyed, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time.